Alright guys, I've been running into an issue on the car. It has a weird little random misfire. It's fine under load, so I couldn't figure out because it doesn't really show on the AFR. Well, I knew before that I was getting an issue with getting water down in the holes where the spark plugs are. So there we go. If you look down in the hole, you probably can't even tell, but there's water down in the spark plug holes. And you can't even see the plug, but anyway, you look, you can see the kind of rusty looking. That's just from them sitting in water. So when it rains and the water runs down this nice cut that I made in the hood, it collects here, and if the car's at an angle, it'll run off. Otherwise, it'll find its way down past this little boot into the hole, and I'll have water down the cylinders, and I'm sure that's not the healthiest for the coils or for the continuity to the plugs. So we're going to go ahead and blow them out real quick, and I'm going to pull the plugs and check the health of the spark plugs real quick because they're iridiums, and they're like 15 bucks a piece. So I really want to make sure that if anything's wrong, we catch it early, because if I run one of these plugs, we're going to have to buy a whole new set most likely, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to get these plugs out, and then we're going to see what they look like one at a time. So we got all the plugs out. They look okay. The gap's about the same on all of them. They're rusty from sitting down in water for so long. But I blew all the water out of the holes, and it looks okay down in there. I can't see a whole lot, but the gap looks to be about the same across the board. I don't have a gap gauge. I let someone use my feeler gauge and never got it back, so everything looks good. I think the gap's tight enough. We're probably at like a 25, 23, somewhere in there. Get all the plugs cleaned off the best I can with a wire brush. Like I said, I don't have a feeler gauge, so I have no way to definitively set where the gap is, but it looks good enough for me. We're not running a ton of boost, and we're on E85, so maybe there's enough wiggle room. Why did I not clean the top of it? So I forgot to clean the contact point on the top of the plug. I don't know if you can see or not, but there's pitting on the contact point on the top of it from it arcing rather than just conducting. So we got those in. I'm going to tighten them down and clean the boots up a little bit. Just wipe them off. Alrighty. This gimbal is so weird. I'm still trying to get used to it. But we got the car back together. I'm gonna go drive it, see how it runs, make sure it doesn't act weird. There's a red wasp trying to make friends with me currently. But the car's back together. Hopefully next time it rains, we're just gonna have to keep doing that unless I find a way to waterproof them holes. Maybe we'll put some RTV or something around the boot on the spark plug. I'm trying to practice getting different shots and stuff with different frames per second and everything else, and figuring out how to do the slow-mo and all that. So it's a learning curve, but I'm trying to get you guys a little bit better content. Hey everybody. Alright, so if my camera will work. It's not working. Now it's working, kind of. Center yourself. There we go. Okay, so what we're doing is we're putting the cranberries. If it will switch, it won't switch while I'm recording. Well, that's helpful. What are we doing, Zach?
We are putting the cranberries on Hank, which originally came off of the blue car.
So we're putting the 14s that we call the cranberries on Hank, which is a task because we don't have a floor jack because I forgot it at my cousin's place. But we got the 12s off, and we are managing to get the 14s put on with no jack. And this camera won't rotate around while I'm recording because my gimbal won't let it. But anyway, we're getting the wheels put on. Zach's putting them on with grass and everything, so he just doesn't care. It's not his car.
No, if it catches on fire, then
Perfect.
that's a good video.
So we're getting these put together. Hazel. And how do you feel about it? How does it make you feel?
13.
Dang, makes you feel 13 again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, ready? Yep. Crunchy. That was definitely horrible. Alright, NASCAR pit stop. Grab your head. For those subscribers that care about our safety, don't worry. These are the finest racing slicks on the market. There you go. I'll do a little trade out.
Dang, it's a good looking car. Shoot.
Don't ruin the shot. Alright, you about ready for this?
No, I'm not, but I'm just gonna do it anyway.
Alright, grab that stand.
Man, I'm gonna be sore tomorrow. This thing's a machine. Dang, thing looks good. She squatted just barely, but that, yeah, that was the move. That was the move. Oh, this car has new wheels on it now. These are 14-inch, but I don't know how wide. But we call these the cranberries. I painted these when I was smoking out of a light bulb. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so we got the laptop open, if you can see. Oh wow, phone's doing weird things. All right, laptop's open. It's just flipping around. All right, so mosquito. Damn, mosquitoes. All right, laptop's open. We're offline right now because the key's not on. But the issue we ran into was, oh, this way. Hey, how you doing? Camera's dirty. Oh, I'm overweight. All right. The issue we ran into was we had to break out the timing light, which I already did that. So on Tuner Studio, you have to match your degrees. You have to fix your timing and then match your degrees on your trigger wizard to the degrees down here on your balancer. And we were off by about 3.5 degrees. So I got that remedied, but that also means that we're throwing more timing at it now than we were before on the entire table. So I'm going to have to go through and make sure that it's still conservative. But we did also turn down the boost on the duty cycle on the boost controller, so we should be making less boost than we were. So I don't think we're going to hurt anything. And I was already super conservative on the timing map all the way across the board, so I think we're going to be okay. But it's not doing its weird misfire thing, which it never will when you're trying to diagnose it. That's just how things go. But go ahead and fire it up. Sounds happy. Yeah, we have an exhaust leak on the downpipe gasket, so I need to get one of those ordered. But we're gonna go take it for a drive and see how it runs now that we fixed the timing issue, hopefully. We're gonna have to pull fuel out of it because it's just rich across the entire board.
drive straight.
It's hard to drive straight and torch there.
I was like, goodness.
I've got one axle that's like
3 feet longer than the other.
a foot long, and the other one's probably 2 feet long.
Yeah. There's got to be at least a 10-inch difference in the axles.
It's a lot.
I know all the Honda guys are like, where's your half shaft at?
Yeah, I wish I had a half shaft. They were out of the adapters. I would have bought one.
What a drive. Oh, my phone fell.
About 4 pounds.
And 4 pounds pulls about as hard as 10 pounds did before. Turn it up. Alright. Duty cycle 100.
Just pin the gate closed.
Ah, good times. Oh, goodness. Let me get decent shots. That sounds awful. When's this thing getting straight cut gears? You're gonna say yeah. Well,
Shoot, brother.
that's what I'm saying. Factory option, huh? 40. Give her some revving. Double check it. We solid. Alright, I guess let's see what it makes. Sucks that I can't get the laptop and the dash and everything. I'm gonna try to get it all like this.
Pulls all right.
Yeah, alright.
That's 8 pounds. Well, it's showing here. It looks like about 8 pounds.
Yeah, 7 or 8. Oh, no. Yeah. Ah! It's just wanting to not cooperate with
Yeah, it
it.
does that sometimes. Well, I think she's okay.
Yep.
I think it's running great.
Yeah, it should be
Other
fine.
than being too rich, it's doing all right.
Well, we'd rather be rich than lean.
Yeah, that could be a bit of an issue with the.
There's just raw threads. Daggone gimbal.
Okay, hey. Hey.
Oh, hey.
So, we drove it. It's definitely happy, other than not having enough oil in it.
The 4 degrees of timing was a big help.
Yes. So, I'm sure it's low on oil because it has a lifter noise, and it's a Miata motor, so they pretty much leave the factory with a lifter noise anyway. But, anyway, we drove it. It's happier than it was. It idles. It was idling at like 620, 640. Now it's at like 800, so that's okay. I'm fine with 800 because it doesn't want to die every time I push the clutch in and come to a light or a stop sign or something. So it's way better than it was. The wastegate keeps trying to fall off, which is driving me insane. So I don't know what we're going to do to remedy that. I think I'm probably going to grind away at the edge of the V-band where the wastegate sits on it and give myself a straight shot to the nuts so I can Loctite the nuts and cinch them down real hard. And then the V-band will still have enough material to grab, and the ring seats on the inside of the lip anyway. So I don't think that'll affect it sealing the wastegate. So we'll probably do that. That way the wastegate stops trying to fall off every time I drive it any distance to speak of. But everything's fine. The catch can's not filling up super fast, which is okay, I guess.
Not to mention it's on stock ring gap.
We don't have a lot of blow by because we didn't gap the rings when we pulled this thing apart. So it's not going to make, we're not going to be able to make a ton of boost anyway because the rods are kind of weak in this motor. So we'll probably end up either buying another motor to build or getting rods and pistons and pulling this thing out in the winter time and building this motor. But we'll see what happens. So far we haven't blown it up. It's taken 7,200 RPMs and it's on, we turned it down, so it's on about 8 PSI right now rather than it was on 10 or 11. So it's doing okay. I'm happy with it. Festiva has not blown up. Hank still runs fine. It just has a gnarly oil leak, so we don't hardly drive it. But it runs good. It shifts through the gears. AC works. Heat works. I mean, we put the cranberries on it and it needs tires, so they keep going flat. But
insert Facebook picture of it slammed.
Oh yeah, I'll find that and stick it in the video. We had a bunch of guys standing around it, seeing how low we could get it to sit, and it's pretty gnarly. But Hank's still good. We haven't had any issues other than the oil leaks that we already knew it had. All right, everything went good. The blue car didn't blow up. It's revving a 7,200, which is supposed to be fairly safe for these motors, but we did put some more timing in it. It's got 3.5 degrees more across the board than it did. So far so good. We turned the boost down a little bit. It's only on, it's like 8 PSI right now, and it was on about 11. So it's not making any funky noises. I don't have a knock sensor because I'm going to redo all the wiring on the car before I install a knock sensor because it's starting to look not too good under the hood. But so far so good. We're still up in the air on whether we're going to turbo the B3 and Hank and try to get some custom rods and pistons for it because nobody makes any for it. But we might just pull the motor out of the blue car and stick in Hank since we know it works, and put some better parts on it, build a sidewinder manifold, bigger turbo, and stick it in Hank since we kind of know what to do and what not to do after doing this swap. And then we might do something dumb with the blue car. It might go rear wheel drive. It might just get a K series. I don't know yet, but all that obviously depends on the budget. We're running 2 very different length axles in the blue car right now, and it torque steers very bad. So if we had a half shaft adapter, that would remedy a lot of that, but they're out of stock everywhere I look, so I haven't found any yet. But so far, no issues with the blue car. Hank runs, it just leaks a ton of oil. We need to pull the motor out and go through and reseal, regasket everything, and we need to set lash on it. It's pretty noisy. And I guess just keep watching. We're at 320 subscribers. The last I checked we were, and that's more than I thought I would get to. For the longest time I was at like 100, so keep doing what you're doing. I sure appreciate it. And I had some guys from No Limits LED Lighting reach out to me on Instagram the other day. They, I guess, saw the Festiva throwing fireballs, and they reached out to me and asked if I wanted a sponsorship, and I said yeah, for sure. So they give me a discount code. It's the Tyler. It's all lowercase, kept it simple, and that'll give you 10% off whatever you buy. I went on there and made sure it works. So you guys save 10% on whatever you get. They have underglow kits, wheel lights, rock lights, interior lights. They got all kinds of cool stuff on their website, so go check them out. Haven't done a whole ton of shout outs quite yet, but Zach's dad has been a huge help with letting me use his shop. The swap on the blue car was supposed to be like a weekend ordeal, and it turned into 9 months. It was at his house, and he never complained, never told me come get my junk car out of his garage. He just came out and helped me after working a 13-hour day. So big thanks to him for sure. He's been a huge help. And of course my cousin Nico, he's let me use his shop a lot with all my toys I've had and traded and sold over the years. So yeah, all the guys that drive me to do what I'm doing, just been a huge help for sure, and it's definitely appreciated. But I'm gonna get off here. I'll be back hopefully in the next few days I can get something up, and we'll figure out if we want to do bigger injectors on the blue car, or if we want to pull the motor on Hank and get the seals and everything done on it. But I'll be back. Keep doing what you're doing, and you guys, you're beautiful.